going on, y'all? It's Mikey T here, the Report Card Radio channel, and we're doing something new today. We're doing something a little bit different. I've actually been a fan of professional wrestling, sports entertainment since the mid-90s. My brother contends that we saw the first Monday Night Raw, but, professional wrestling had its high spots, when the NWO was created, D-Generation X, Stone Cold Steve Austin versus Mr. McMahon. But my interest in the company has really been re-sparked with the horizon of AEW. Since October, we've had new television on an old channel that we're all familiar with, and that is TNT. So last night on AEW Dark, which is a show that airs every Tuesday, just before the day before Dynamite goes on, AEW Dark, which is a concept, I guess you could say, based on how WWE has dark matches before and after shows that as fans we never got to see throughout the years. Everybody's always wondering what happened in dark match segments. What did they miss? You would go to live events just to see more of these dark segment matches. So AEW has a show on YouTube called Dark, it's a pretty cool show. You get to see some storylines showcased on it. This week they actually did a whole thing about the legends of wrestling in Memphis, which a lot of people thought would be on the show, but it was about a 15-minute segment. So the Memphis legends were all saluted on the show. It would have been great. It would have been awesome to actually have seen Jerry Lawler appear, because it was Wednesday. Lawler has his requirements for Raw. He's been back on the show, and that's been interesting to see. But they did acknowledge Brian Christopher, who, he was a great cruiserweight singles superstar back in his time. Then he also went on to form a tag team that you thought was going to get swept under the rug with Scott Taylor, or Scotty Taylor, who later turned into Scotty Too Hotty. So it was awesome to see the Lawlers acknowledged, but it would have been great if WWE and AEW could have worked something out to where, Lawler could actually appear. It would have been awesome, but I guess that would just be showing a little bit too much. I don't want to say showing too much love. That would have been shedding too much light on what AEW is, because at the end of the day, it's a competition between, and WWE is trying to keep that competition between AEW and NXT rather than AEW and WWE. Obviously, the Rock and Roll Express, who have made a couple appearances now on AEW, were also acknowledged. We saw what they did at the pay-per-view, or I want to say, the AEW, when the Rock and Roll Express came in and, jumped over the top rope and got all involved in the action with the Young Bucks. That was cool. And then actually they were attacked when they were attacked when they were supposed to be awarding the tag team championships to I guess SCU, because they've been the only tag team champions. So it was, they had some star power there. They also acknowledged Randy Savage, which was pretty cool, because Randy Savage, apparently he was with the Memphis Wrestling for just 2 years, and Jerry Lawler ended his career there in a loser leaves town match, which is a crazy piece of history. I mean, I might have to go back and check that out. I was never really too big into the Memphis wrestling. Like I said, when I came in, it was really Monday Night Raw was getting started. It was before Bret Hart was the champion, but seeing Bret Hart and guys like that was great for me. Although a lot of people say that the mid-90s was one of the worst times to come in wrestling, when you had guys out there like, who was the Stone Cold with the $1 Million Championship. You had like was that Rikishi, like dressing up in all the hip hop attire, like not even hip hop. It was just embarrassing. Some of the stuff. You had Mabel as a heel, and then before that, he was like, it was just a really confusing time in wrestling, to when the wrestling spark came, and now where we are today is just like, it seems like AEW seems like it's a mixture of WCW and New Japan Pro Wrestling, if anything, or maybe Ring of Honor and New Japan Pro Wrestling. Honestly, I'm seeing better television value I'm seeing better announcing, like which is what we got here at the beginning of the show, and better wrestling. Looking at this opening match of Dark on Memphis Championship Wrestling with Brandon Cutler, who is a friend of the Young Bucks, and Darby Allin. Darby Allin is just looking at Darby Allin, he's got to have the best original music and the best original character. But you look at Brandon Cutler, and this guy's like, he's got more talent than an Alex Wright from the WCW days. You know, it would just be great to see the fans actually get behind him. They had a great opening match. Excalibur, as usual, was joined by another announcer. Each week they've had Excalibur joined with another announcer. So I'm thinking